so I can post this in the group later for everyone. So I have kind of put Katie here on the spot because I did not give her like much of a heads up for tonight, but she graciously agreed to guest speak tonight. Katie is from Fredericktown, Ohio, and she's an 80K, and she has been thriving for 5 years. And promoting most of that, like I think she says like 4.5 or so. And I wanted her to get on and talk with you guys because I know that you hear from me all the time.
Yep.
You're probably sick of me, and that's cool. It's great to learn from other people, get new perspectives. And I think it's also great, you know, I'm as new as most of you guys. So it's really great to have people who have been doing this a lot longer than me, because most of the time the stuff that I am bringing you is basically stuff I've learned, you know, from my photography business from the past 10 years. And it's working for this, but I love bringing on people who have been doing Thrive a lot longer. So before we get started though, I have a couple shout outs because Kim Weatherly hit 4K and got her $1,000 in credits this past week. And Chelsea Goins also hit 4K and got her $1,000 in credits and her Maui gems. And then Tanner, I think Tanner's last name is Powell. She's like a level 3 to me, but I think her last name is Powell. She got her VIP 800 this week. So you guys are killing it. I'm so proud of you. And I always like to start out with like shout outs because they're fun. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Katie and let her tell you basically how she attracts people and then closes the sale once she gets them. So go for it, girl.
Lordy, I apologize. I don't know how to stop this. Oh my God. You know, it just never fails. Your dad FaceTimes you when you're in the middle of a working Zoom. Like, my face is red right now, guys. You should be laughing your butts off on that. And I'm trying to make this full screen again because I don't even know where it went. All right, so my name's Katie Mason. I'm in Ohio. And the biggest thing I can tell you is a little bit about me to start with. I'm a mom of 2. I have a 7-year-old son who's about ready to go back to school. Hallelujah. And then I have a almost 2-year-old daughter who, I mean, they're both very high energy kids. And that's what drew me to Thrive so long ago, is because I was a mommy laying in my bed reading a Thrive story about a mom getting her happy back. So if you think about it, that was almost 5 years ago. I read a Lavelle fan page story, and that's what brought me in. So you guys may think sometimes, gosh, why am I sharing these? Like, what is the deal? What's the point? But if Brandy Panson is my direct sponsor, if she had not shared that one story about a mom getting her happy back, I would have never experienced Thrive. I would have never jumped in. If you told me it was just weight loss, which a lot of people think that, I would have never tried Thrive. And I was at a point in my life laying in bed reading the story to my husband that I said, do you think this stuff would work, would help? And he looks at me, he goes, it can't get any worse than it already is. So there's your point right there that I need to do something, and it was bad. So enter Thrive. I started feeling amazing, but I wasn't believing it. Like I didn't know. And I kept asking my husband, and he finally, after day 10, when I came to him and I told him my aha moment, which at day 10, I'm in the car with my son, who was 2 at the time. He's in his car seat. We're jamming out at a stop sign, singing the YMCA, dancing in my car, like top of my lungs. And this car drives by me and is looking at me like, what in the heck is going on? Are they okay? And it was right there, both hands on the wheel, like I just started crying because I could not remember the last time that I felt good enough that I wanted to even dance or sing. And I was doing it all, and I was having a good time, and my son was in the backseat loving it. So I was finally giving my family the best part of me, and not just this mom that was barely making it through the day. So that night I went home and told my husband, and he said, I knew from day one, but I didn't want to tell you anything because I didn't want it to go away. I was scared. So he knew way before I did. And it was just, I'm so thankful for that person that kind of gave me the double glance to make me realize that this stuff was working. It was changing me. I got my old Katie back. And from there, it was kind of this is bigger than me. I was a pretty outgoing person, and I became a hermit. I don't know how, but I got in the shell and I just hunkered down and I couldn't get out of it. And Thrive entered my life at probably the most needing time of my life. And it's hard for me to say that I was at a point that I was embarrassed that I needed something like this, but it was those things, like the way I was feeling. I didn't want to go a day any longer without feeling different, feeling better about myself and what I was giving my family. So that, in a nutshell, is what has driven me over almost 5 years of thriving, to keep sharing. Because guys, I have had a daughter during those 5 years. I've had ups and downs with my business, and it's what you put into it is what you get out of it. So the biggest thing I can tell you is you need to find the top 3 things that Thrive has given you. It's not energy, it's not weight loss, it's not mental clarity. You need to figure out the top 3 things that Thrive has given you in your life. It's no longer being a mom bee. It's dancing in the car with my son. It's, giving my daughter, keeping ahead of my daughter. It's those 3 things right now that I'm most thankful for, that I know that someone else out there absolutely wants out of their life. Any one of those things, if I can talk straight. So guys, it's just a matter of taking what you're feeling today, what it means to you in your daily life, and putting it out there and being vulnerable. That is the biggest thing I think I can say overall, is I wear my heart on my sleeve. I put it all out there and I own it. And if someone doesn't like what I'm saying, or, if someone, I've had people unfriend me, I've had people block me, and you know what? They're just filtering my friends list for me, because they're really not friends, guys. If they can't support me, if they can't encourage me for what I'm doing, and I'm not building a business, I'm changing lives. And if they don't feel like that's why I'm sharing Thrive, then I'm not doing the right thing by sharing. I'm not sharing it genuine enough. So my thing is, I want to genuinely share Thrive and change lives. And that's been my moral compass, my go-to, just how I want to approach this business, because I am building a business. But I want it to be in a genuine way that these people actually know that I genuinely care about them and I want to change lives. So that's me. And maybe that's not your approach, but it's just what I've been doing the last 5 years. And guys, I will tell you, there's going to be dips, there's going to be highs, there's going to be exciting things. Absolutely celebrate everybody that hit 4K. Celebrate the celebrating moments. But remember those when you have the lows. And over time, I will tell you that you get to a point that the lows they just kind of roll right off. Like, it's just another day. But you know what, when you start really feeling like, gosh, I haven't influenced somebody lately, I haven't, changed a life, I'm feeling like I need that, around the corner, 3 more come. If you stay consistent, that's the biggest thing I'll tell you over 5 years. I'm just going to say 5 years of doing this, is being consistent. Do I post Thrive every single day? No, but I'm posting that people see my happy life, my happy smile, whatever. And then I post the real crap out there too. Excuse my language, but I post when my kids throw all the toys out of the toy box. And 2 years ago or 5 years ago for me, it would have, I would have lost my mind with all those toys everywhere. That post, everybody's seen that post in their living room. They've seen those toys everywhere. They can relate to that, but it's how you react to that reality that they've had in their lives too. And it's probably different than what they're feeling because they're not thriving. So I kind of use reverse psychology posts, if you want to say, that's the term I put on it. One of the biggest ones I ever had was I sold my Keurig coffee pot. I never drank coffee. My husband did. And I just put "this is for sale" sign, put it out on Facebook, and people are like, "You're giving it away?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'll give it away if you want it. Like, we don't use it. It's collecting dust. It needs to get off my counter." And you know how many people were like, "What?" Because my husband drank like a pot of coffee a day, and they knew, like, he walked around all day long holding coffee. So it's things like that you can, whatever you can take to relate to someone else in the everyday, that's what you want to do. All right, I'm going to stop for a second. I'm going to go into kind of like closing a sale. If you got something else, Jasmine, that you want to put in there beforehand.
No, I think you're doing great. I think that those are, being vulnerable is like the most important thing that you can do on Facebook. And that's how, like, I know that you don't personally know my story, but a lot of them do. I had hit all my bonuses before I even had my product, just from being vulnerable on Facebook about the journey that I was about to start. So it's important, and I'm glad that you touched on it. So you're doing great, girl. Keep going.
No. Um, it's kind of funny. You get on these Zooms, and I love working with Sidelines, and you just kind of have, it's like a Paul Gravett call. You never know where he's going to take you. And I'm the same way anymore. It's like, I have intentions of covering certain things, and then I get on this soapbox and I go the other way. But it's all about, the biggest message I want you guys to take home tonight is passion over perfection. If something, you don't know quite what to post, you don't quite have the right things to say with the picture that you have that you want to share, send it to your sponsor and say, hey, what jumps out at you when you see this picture? I have over the years struggled with that. When I first started, like, what do I say? I don't know. And when I started, those little Pinterest graphics were all that was out there. I mean, I see one of those now and I want to vomit. Be real, be you, and share your life, be vulnerable that way. But if you don't know what words to say, just send it to your sponsor and be like, hey, what jumps out at you? What would you say to this picture? And 9 times out of 10, the first thing that comes off my mind, I tell them, and they're like, oh my God, it's so good. And I'm like, it's just what I thought when I saw that picture. So you are your biggest tool in your box. Own it, share yourself, share your life out loud. When I come to, closing a sale, I guess I don't have a specific approach. I just kind of tell everybody, you know what? You need to experience Thrive for yourself. I can tell you all day long what it's going to do for you, but until you experience it, you're never going to know. It's just the way that you deliver your closing statement, whatever it is, whatever you're comfortable with, that says more than anything. So your passion behind you, how you deliver it, that says more than whatever words are coming out of your mouth. So if you need to practice a couple of just things that you're comfortable with, maybe when someone comes up and asks you what your DFT is, you probably have a couple one-liners that you have rehearsed and you have down. Do the same thing with closing. It's not that hard. You know what? You've got to experience it for yourself. I can't tell you what it's going to do for you. Okay? And they're like, that didn't tell me anything, but I'm really curious to see what it's going to do for me. And I'll tell you tonight after this, I have another Zoom, and what we're working on is, all the people that made those free customer accounts the 1st to the 12th of this month, okay, those credits are expiring the end of this month. We don't have many days left with those. So if you haven't gone into your reports, my team tab, and then filter it by my customers and then by their date of enrollment, then you need to do that, and you need to reach out to each one of those if they haven't ordered yet. That's a golden nugget right there that you have just sitting there. It's a golden opportunity. Hey girl. And I never say, hey girl. When I say, hey girl, I actually write their name in, but for some reason when I do Zooms, I say, hey girl, and I cannot stop doing it. So don't say, hey girl. It is like death to a message. If you say, hey girl, I say, hey, Jasmine, I know you signed up the 1st of the month. You had an account preloaded with $25 off your first order. Those expire in 5 days. And you know what? For the first 5 people, I'm going to add $5 to it. So it's $30 off. If you've got even 5 credits that you can throw them, that makes it $30. Or if you want to tell them, hey, I got enough to cover free shipping, and it's still in credits. Or if you have, I have some people that, when we did the promoter upgrade packages, came in first 30 days, bought one of those packages, and got the Thrive sample mailouts. These guys right here. They got 10 of these if they got the $400 pack, or they got 20 if they got the $800 pack. Okay. Well, let's use those samples and mail it to 2 of their friends to help them get their Thrive for free next month. Get them started this month. They get $25 or $30 off, whatever you want to throw to them on top of, what they got from the company. And then use your Thrive sample mailouts to help them get their Thrive for free. Duplication comes in getting Thrive for free. So that's the other thing I'll tell you to do is someone isn't thriving free yet, or if they have one referral that has ordered, you reach out to them urgently and say, hey girl, we have 5 days left of the month. Who on the top of your brain needs Thrive the most? Let's talk to them. And let's throw something out to them and say, hey, I've been thinking about you. I really know that you're going to love this. My friend Jasmine here, she's, we've been talking back and forth. I'm on a 3-way call with them, and I just say, hey, she is feeling for you, and she knows where you're at, and you share your story. She knows where you've been, you share your story. And at the end, if you need to throw out credits, whatever, but after that, most times when you bring in that person that can relate to the one that you're trying to get thriving, that's been in that same situation, if you really know them personally and you can match them up, it's really, really, really powerful. So a couple things, to follow up with, just having those free credits in your account and not using them. And then if you've got the Thrive sample mailouts, mail those out to a couple people on their behalf. Like, get them thriving free next month. It's not that hard to do. They just have to step out of their comfort zone and share it a little bit. Sometimes it takes me writing the post for them, but them sharing it themselves. So I'm going to take another drink of water and a breath so I can talk again.
So I'm going to put you on the spot because I'm going to ask you like 2 questions that I didn't tell you beforehand that I was going to have you talk about. So the first one is something, well, maybe 3. The first one is that I want to tell them how important it is to invest in their business. Like putting those paychecks in the beginning back into your business. That was something I did with photography up in probably my entire first year. I've also done it with Lavelle. You know, I flipped my husband's account's paycheck. $650 was his, am I allowed to say that? I may have just I flipped that smaller paycheck into Thrive credits on a non-auto ship month, just so I could grow my business. And I think that things like that are super important. And did you do stuff like that? And do you tell your people to do stuff like that?
So those are great questions. I never use my credits for myself, and I haven't from day one. I absolutely give them all away, and it's in little chunks. Normally I'm $20. I cover shipping plus some, is what I tell them, because you don't know how many people hate paying for shipping. And I'm like, I wish they had free shipping promo codes, because it says free shipping when you put that on. And I've had people like, I gave you $50 in credits because you got 30 from the company. I gave you 20, but I don't want to pay for shipping. I'm like, you got $50 off. Shipping is 14. Like, what is the problem here? But it's just a mentality of people. And I think sometimes, guys, you've got to take things away from people. So I've had, in the beginning, like a failure, trying to do it myself. I just gave people a bunch of samples. I didn't funnel them. I did not put them through the information funnel. So I didn't have them have a free account. I didn't make them listen to a friend on a 3-way call, or the 24-hour call was really big when I first started. And I didn't find out what 3 things they wanted most from Thrive before I sent them the sample. I just gave it to them. And they thought they were doing me a favor and that they handed out Thrive samples left and right for free. And finally, I got to a point that I ran out of samples. I was taking my men's capsules because I ran out of women's. And I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just throwing this away. These people aren't getting back to me. And finally, I got brave enough and I said, hey, you know what? I have 3 other people that want that sample. If you're not going to take it, send it back to me. And they jumped. They took it the next day because they weren't sending it back. So sometimes you got to take things away from people to get them to realize, oh, okay, yeah, I need to do this. So I never used credits for myself. I give little bits here and there, give it wherever I can. And I tell them flat out front, look, I'm going to help you get started at a discount, and then I'm going to help you get your Thrive for free after this. So it's going to take a little bit of stepping out of your comfort zone, but I'm telling you that up front. When you start thriving, you're going to start telling everybody anyways. So, you're not paying after this month. That's kind of the approach that I have and the confidence I have about it, but it tells them too up front, hey, I'm going to have to share this a little bit if I want it for free. Because I have so many customers that when I first started were like, no, I don't want to say anything. I'm not going to be that person that sells leggings on Facebook. I'm like, no, you don't have to be. But you can be a person that changes lives. So the choice is yours. If you complain to me about what you're paying for your product, you don't have to. You can get it for free, or you can stop thriving. Oh no, I never want to stop thriving. You know what happens next? They start sharing. So sometimes you got to have a little tough love conversation with your customers, but I've built relationships with them, because I'm always following up with them. Once a month, this is silly, but this is how I run my business. Once a month, I print out my new customers for the month before, and I put a column for the next 3 months. So I know how I've followed up with them. That's it. I print out one page. I have young kids. I can't sit at my computer all day. Yes, I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I'm on the go with this thing. And that's the only way I can follow up with people. But by having this and taking notes on it, where I can, like, literally get shuffled around the kitchen, the laundry room, everywhere, I take notes on it. And then I know how to follow up, with the people that maybe they haven't ordered yet. They have those credits sitting there. I'm very consistent in my follow-up. That's where the rubber meets the road. That's where the traction happens. And then once you realize that they've been thriving for a while and they haven't shared their Thrive experience out loud, you, by golly, got to get them on a call, and you got to get them sharing it. And you got to have their friends and family plug into it. But better yet, they have a recording after that. They have a recording that they can share when someone says, hey, what's Thrive? Listen to this 15 minutes. And then they can go from there. But I'm going to ramble all night in different areas. What was your other question?
So another one that I hear a lot is, because I had a business before I went into this, I did have a social media following, and social media has, like, I don't know a lot of my customers because I do have a social media following. So I hear a lot from my people, well, Jasmine, I don't have a following like you do. I can't get the amount of people that you do. But people like Jamie Lindbergh in our upline and people like that didn't have a social media following either, and they have been wildly successful. And I try to tell people, social media following, yes, while it's helped, it's not everything. I'm all the time messaging, I'm all the time reaching out, I'm following up. My auto ships or something, I hit auto elite my first month as a 40K because that was on my radar, and I was making sure my auto ship, because that's my residual income. That's where we make money, are those auto ships, because we don't have to spend our time getting new customers every month. So I'm doing things like that. So I think that people think that it's mostly my social media following. But I don't know if you had a social media following before you started this, or what your situation was. But if you didn't, I would love for you to speak about how you do it with no social media following in the beginning.
So I'm kind of one of those moms that never took a picture, never had a picture of themselves before I started Thriving. And it's funny because, yes, I had Facebook. I try to dabble in Instagram. I'm still not the best at any of this, but when I started, and I'll tell you this too. So I thrived for 4 months. I was a closet thriver. I told Brandy Pants, and I said, I am not sharing this. I'm not doing another direct sales company. I was with an essential oils company. I loved the oils, but I could never make my $100 that I had to spend personally to earn an income. So I could never make my investment back. And I was like, it's not for me. It is not for me. Okay. I grew up on a dairy farm. So I graduated from college, went into the field, and I went to dairy farms for my first job, and I sold them feed. I sold them feed for cows. Okay. So most farmers aren't huge on Facebook or social media, or at least they weren't. So I really didn't have a huge network of followers, but what I did have was kind of like, if I'm putting myself behind something, there must be something to it. The way that I've kind of approached my whole life is my integrity, my values, what I stand behind mean everything to me. And most people know that about me if they personally know me. Now, I've gotten to the point like you are that I don't know most of these new thrivers coming in. We've just had conversations through groups. Like I have a Frenchie. I'm in Frenchie groups. Like I meet people on there. I tell them their puppy's really cute, and they go, what's that sticker on your arm? Okay, if I hadn't been consistently posting things about Thrive, they never would have asked that. So it all comes full circle. It doesn't matter what your presence is. It just matters that you're consistent. And it's even harder now not being face-to-face. Like I love face-to-face. Go find somebody that you see creeping looking at your DFT in the grocery store. It just doesn't happen now. Especially when you have a mask over your face and you're trying to have a conversation. It is so annoying, but you can grab their information and send it to them later. Like, it's a quicker kind of turnaround of, hey, what's your phone number? I'm going to text you. I'm going to text you some information on it. I know you're checking it out. I want to get it to you. And I just I take the first step. So I didn't have a huge social media following. What I did when I started out is I had a 12-week experience basically, and before I ever shared anything. And I had some really close friends that had noticed a difference in my just personality. I was smiling more. I was a little more upbeat, joking around like I used to back in the day when I was fun Katie. And they were like, what's happened? You look a little different, but your attitude is way different. And I couldn't keep it in the closet anymore. Like, I was sharing it out loud because I had such a huge experience. But at 12 weeks, I made one post, and it was my picture, my one and only picture that my husband took of me, that I allowed him to take of me on our anniversary, right before I placed my first order. And luckily I saved that picture because I wasn't proud of it, obviously. And I put up my new one, 12 weeks later, and it was like, it was just my face. If you couldn't see the difference just shining through my eyes, my skin, everything, it was like I was glowing and happy versus get me the heck out of here. I can't do this anymore kind of look on my other face from before thriving. That's all it takes, guys. Share you, keep sharing you, and it's going to happen. I've had people watching me the whole time and then like, gosh, Katie, I've been watching you for a couple years now, and you're still doing this. I didn't think you were going to keep doing it past 12 weeks or whenever you first started sharing it. And I knew nothing of how to share it or how to do it. I was just ignorance on fire, and it changed me that much. I swear it saved my marriage. It saved my family. It saved me. It's bigger than me. You've got to step out of your comfort zone and share it. How you do so is entirely up to you. You have great leaders that are going to show you the way, give you ideas. Don't question it. Just jump and do it. But make it genuine to you. If the wording doesn't feel right, like, don't say, hey, girl. if it doesn't feel genuine to you, don't try to be someone else you're not. Twist it and make it yours and put it out there and put it out loud and proud and continue to do it, because it's like 12 times someone's got to see something before they're ever going to make a jump just like you did. So I don't know. I've rambled on a lot.
I am someone who says, hey, girl, in real life. Like, I call everybody girl. So I tend to say, hey, girl, all the time, whether it's messages or anything, because I literally say, hey, girl. Like, so now I'm all paranoid about it.
Okay, so Erin Gargan King, I don't know if you follow her, but she does some Instagram training. She's like, there's 2 or 3 things that will absolutely like red flag somebody. They're trying to sell me something. And the first one she came across was, hey, girl. Like, stop saying hey, girl. Use their name. Like, make it a little more genuine than just hey, girl. Now, I'll say hey, lady to like my best friends. I'm like, hey, lady, what have you been into? And I'm like, how is that different than hey, girl? But I guess it's just my best friends, and I'm not talking Thrive, so it's not a huge red flag to them. But yeah, that's just like, I'm all about picking up those things, and I say it all the time when I'm on a Zoom, when I'm trying to tell somebody what to say, but I'm like, I got to stop saying it, because people actually type hey, girl, and that's fine if it works for you, if it's your cup of tea. I don't go out in public and say hey, girl to people. I just, if I can remember their name, which is really, I really pride myself on remembering most people's names. I'm going to use their name. Like, I feel like that connection to remember someone's name or something about them that I can connect with really brings in the relationship and moves it along faster. So that's, something else. Don't just be a drive-by, drop the Thrive bomb and leave. You got to build a relationship ahead of time and connect with those people before you're ever going to get them thriving. So sorry, I was upset.
I think it's worth mentioning, and I know I've said this before, and I will say it until I die, but I think that the most important thing to know is that people are going to buy into you long before they buy into Thrive. So just being yourself and showing up, not always like, hey, why don't you thrive with me in your posts, or saying like, I am a big proponent of curiosity marketing. I like to not mention Thrive in my post unless it's like a sale or something. Otherwise, I refer to it as the 3 simple steps or these products or because I don't want to give too much information, because if I give you too much information, you don't need me. So I want you to message me, not Google it. So basically, I'm a huge proponent of curiosity marketing, and I am so against saying, "Hey, let's thrive," and I know Paul is wanting everybody to say, "Get as healthy as you can, as fast as you can, let's thrive." Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be caught dead saying that. But I get why he's trying to get everybody to say it, but that's not me. That's not who I am, and people would see that as fake in a heartbeat if I said that. So I think it's so important to be true to who you are. I am so. Oh wait, we had a question in the chat. Chelsea, she's already left. The other Chelsea, she said, "Did you thrive while you were pregnant and breastfeeding?"
Okay. So I'll answer that anyways because you asked it, even though she left, and you can tell her. It's always best to run it past your doctor no matter what. And I did thrive while I was pregnant with permission from my OB. I did not do step 3. I did steps 1 and 2. She just wasn't comfortable with step 3, hadn't got a good feel for it, and I probably could have pushed her to allow me to do that. I was just happy to do 2 of the 3 steps. And then I did breastfeed, and again, a full thrive after I had baby, 6-week checkup, and then was breastfeeding, no problem. But again, run it past your doctor first. Like, that's what I did. That's what I tell everybody to do, no matter what. So good question. Anything else?
I want to go ahead and see if anybody on the Zoom has any questions for you. We're about 30 minutes in, which is why I try to keep these 2 anyway. So does anyone else have any questions for Katie before she goes? Anyone? Lauren, Shalina, Michelle, Kim, Chelsea, questions? Okay, don't hate me, girls, but I want to take a photo before Katie leaves of the screen here. So if you love me, show me your face.
I want to meet you all anyway.
Yeah, can you guys show your face just for a second so I could take a screenshot? Yes. Shalina, Chelsea, Michelle, are you guys going to do it for me?
Jasmine.
You guys have been hiding this whole time.
Not good.
It could have been on here. Like, yes, shame on you.
Chelsea just got done with a workout, and she said she puked after her workout and her mascara's down her face. Chelsea, there.
I'm not taking a picture.
Yeah, you look great. No, don't worry.
Okay, so everybody smile. Chelsea. So I'm going to screenshot real fast. Hold on. Here we go.
Everyone, let me fix my hair.
Chelsea.
I'm fixing my hair.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
It's seriously just a screenshot, dude. There we go.
Oh.
1, 2, 3. Okay, it's done. Thank you guys. But Katie, do any of you girls have any questions for Katie before she goes?
I'm an open book. You can ask me anything and everything.
Gosh, you guys are so quiet.
Are you guys where are you located? Lauren, where are you from?
I'm in Alabama.
Alabama.
I'm from where Jasmine's from, but I moved to Alabama.
How's the weather? Because you're in West Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Jasmine?
Yeah, we're in West. Am I on mute? No. Okay. I was like, no, we're in West Virginia. The weather here is like, it's different every day. Like, we have winter one day, fall the next, summer. Like, you just never know.
So Alabama, it's super hot. West Virginia, it's up and down. Okay, who are we at next?
I think everybody else here is from West Virginia.
Yeah, we're from West Virginia.
Yeah.
Mountain Mama.
Yeah.
I won't start saying.
Okay. Chelsea and Kim just hit their 4Ks, and I'm so proud of them because they're getting that $1,000. And then
Awesome.
Lauren and Shalina and Michelle, all 3 have a chance to hit it before the month is ending. And our team is going to hit 80K this week. So
that is amazing.
It's huge. 3.5 months. We're hitting 80K. I started Thriving May 2nd, and here we are. So it's crazy. It's been wild, and these girls work their butts off. So
It shows if
yes.
you guys have been growing that fast. Yep, that's awesome. And just keep sharing. Like, that's all it comes down to. Don't overthink it. Just keep sharing.
All right. Well, thank you, Katie. And thank you, girls, for showing up. Showing up is seriously the thing that is going to propel your business to the next level. So just keep showing up, stay consistent, keep posting. And if you have questions, let me know. Love you guys.